It's Cricbuzz chatter. Adam Collins and Michael Vaughan. Boy, how different Leeds feels after 2 hours and 45 minutes of exhilarating cricket. Not a lot of overs bowled, but the game really moved along. Australia scratching their way to 224. Travis Head 77, a brilliant individual performance. And England chasing 251. They're already none for 27 from 5 overs. They sure love chasing.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they've chased more than this 4 times in the last year, so they're a side that is not intimidated at all with chasing a game. They're very, very clever as well. They're a remarkable team that can bring in the clouds when they bowl and they get rid of the clouds when they bat. That last session was riveting. The ball was swinging around when the Aussies batted. Travis Head batted like Ben Stokes just for a brief spell there. Todd Murphy came in and just hung around. That was a key partnership. But that partnership at the end there, that 27 for naught after 5 overs, just calmed the whole ground down, because I think everyone was expecting 1 or 2 to go. Everyone was expecting Pat to bowl a couple of beauties. Mitchell Stark did bowl a couple that found the outside edge, but that was an important partnership. England arrive tomorrow. I don't think they're clear favourites, but they are favourites to win the Test match, and the Ashes are still alive.
Yeah, you talked about 250 when we spoke last night, Vaughan, about being where England needed to keep it within. Australia had 108. Didn't feel like they were going to add 108 when Pat Cummins and Stark were out in quick succession, but the way they were able to sort of keep the train on the tracks, the strike manipulation with Todd Murphy, who hit 10 runs from his first 3 balls from kind of nowhere against the extreme pace of Wood, who got the 2 previous wickets, but Head was the mainstay. Bombed at the start. They never bothered trying to find his outside edge. They wanted to hit him in the head or find his top edge, one or the other. But he held his nerve, then he smacked it over the rope a couple of times. Last man out for 77, but as good as a ton.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know what, there was a discussion with England when they went back out there to Travis said, was it worth them to pitch the ball up, because the ball was swinging around, but they've gone for this short ball theory because 2 things: they think they can get him out, but also they keep him quiet. And it wasn't really until Todd Murphy arrived that he suddenly started to hit the boundaries, so it was working until that stage. Chris Woakes is an incredible cricketer. He got his 100th wicket today in English conditions. He's got an average of 22 bowling in the UK. That's up there with the greats of the game, and when there's any movement there, he just positions the seam beautifully for that outswinger, the bounce to Carey, the bounce to Mitchell Marsh. A real class performer for England. You just look at the Test match now, and you're going into day 4. I always think it'll be dramatic because the full days of the Ashes this year has been incredible, but I've just got a sense from the England side that it could be a calm 4th day. I'm not expecting, unless the clouds are around and it's going to hoop all over the place, I've got a kind of calmness. Usually I panic with England. I think, there'll be all sorts happening, it'll be a dramatic day, but I don't know, this England side chasing another 224, I think it could be a calm day. If the sun shines, and I believe there's a bit of sun because the Baz bowlers are very good, they'll get rid of the clouds and the sun will shine. If the sun's out, I think this will be quite a relatively straightforward chase for England.
Yeah, just on the feeling, talk about dramatic. When we came back on at whatever it was, 4:45, then another brief rain delay after 6 balls. It was electric here. Obviously not everybody stuck around. Heavy rain that wiped out more than 2 sessions. But when Mark Wood was charging in from where we are, the Kirkstall lane end, 7 overs on the trot, which is pretty much unheard of for him, getting 2 wickets in 2 overs. It's as loud as I've heard of NU in this series.
Yeah, but if you think about the Yorkie crowd today, they've had to wait for 6 or 7 hours. What do you do in 6 or 7 hours? I mean, it's quite obvious what they've been up to. The terrace, they were all stood, it was electric. That's Test cricket. Test cricket around Headingley, Edgbaston, Old Trafford next week. You get great crowds. The last day at Lord's, that was raucous. This series is special. It's a brilliant Test series between 2 sides, one that plays it slightly differently to the other. This England team are just trying to rechange the way that Test match cricket is played. It's great entertainment, but they have to get the job done. They have to get the win. They have to come in. They're at that stage now that they have to do it. They've got no other option. Australia, they come tomorrow and think, you know what, if we get a couple of early ones and we can get Joe Root out there inside the first half an hour, can we get Ben Stokes dipping into his well once again? Can we get him out there when he's looking at a number that's still a decent number to get? Of course Australia can win the game, but you just fancy with this England side that there's a momentum shift, and they have to win this week. Everything's been in their favour, from the toss of the coin to the conditions to the lights on pretty much when they bowl. All the mistakes that England have made this week, if they can get that win and then nullify some of those mistakes going to Old Trafford, this series is still alive.
And in taking advantage of a rare poor spell from Pat Cummins, I mean, it was 7 overs at Old Trafford in 2019. We worked on our commentary where he struck with his 3rd ball and his 4th ball, of course the famous Joe Root delivery from the pavilion end at Old Trafford. But on this occasion, he was very leg side. The ball wasn't swinging in. He actually took himself off after 2 overs and threw the ball to Scott Boland. So it's rare that Pat, though, bowls 2 bad spells in a row.
No, I mean, he's human. Yeah, I was expecting him to completely set the tone, get one to kind of probably move away from Zach Crawley. Yeah, he offered a few gifts. It's the first time I've ever seen Pat Cummins offer some gifts to opening batters, but he'll be back tomorrow. He'll sleep. He'll come back tomorrow and say to his team, this is possible. Of course it is. You know that the Aussie catching is generally very, very good, so if they create chances, they'll probably take them. They'll have to create a bit of chaos, I reckon, in the first hour. I think the Aussies will have to get 2 or 3 in the first hour just to create a bit of chaos. If they do that, you know, I think we're in for a riveting day. But I just get a sense, I don't know why I'm so calm about a chase with England. It's just this team just know how to chase, and they know how to chase here at Headland. They did it against New Zealand last year. They obviously did it against the Aussies in 2019. And I think they're set up for this. They're set up, and when they play their Test cricket these days, it's for this, just to kind of nullify the opposition. The last 3 innings, they bowled the Aussies out for under 300. The last innings at Lord's, 2 innings here, and I think England will look at that and think, if we can win a Test match, win a Test match, lose with kind of all the mistakes that they've made on the back of now bowling Australia out twice for under 300 and again at Lord's in that second innings, they'll take a huge amount of confidence from winning here.
Right, on that theme, let's go into the hotspot. In the hotspot, England chasing, something about the way that they've just developed this muscle memory over the last year and a bit, whatever it's been now, including a pretty hefty chase here of 290 plus against New Zealand last year, and the chase at Edgbaston where they came out with such aggression. Trent Bridge as well. We saw that from Zach Crawley before the close of play. But it feels crucial to me that someone's going to have to go with Ben Stokes. There's only been 4 half centuries in this series from batters in England's lineup who aren't Stokes. Who will it be tomorrow who can ride shotgun and provide some support in order to not have him to dig too deep into what you call his well?
Oh, I think Ben Duckie's playing well enough. It's just that extra bit of bounce here at Headingley that he's found quite difficult to face. Zach Crawley. England consistently pick Zach Crawley. He's in the side for a long, long time. He has been in 37 Test matches. He's averaging 28. He never looks out of form. This is a batter that never looks out of form. He plays glorious shots and suddenly gets out. It's a great chance for Zach Crawley tomorrow to really, they've shown a huge amount of faith in him. You know, they keep picking him. They like this momentum that he shifts towards the team. Even if he gets 20 or 30, it's always quick, and they like it in that dressing room. Baz McCullum loves the momentum that he creates. But tomorrow he's got a great chance to individually win England a Test match and get England over the line, get them back in the series. If it comes down to Ben Stokes again, with Ben walking out there requiring 120, 130, the well is only so deep. The well is only so deep, and he can't just keep producing it. I want to see a little bit of something from that top 3. They need it for their own individual kind of confidence going through to Old Trafford. I'm saying I'm calm, and I'm sure it won't, because I'm sure we'll lose wickets to the bouncer. The trap will be set, and they'll be trying to take the pull shot on. It's England, it's the Ashes. It's generally always dramatic, but something in me, I'll go to bed tonight quite calm that this England side, as we mentioned, they're a very, very good shape. They basically treat it like a one-day game.
Vaughnie, on fast forward, I was going to keep it simple. Who do you think is going to win? But it's pretty obvious to me you think England can do this. So let's go a bit further ahead again. If they do make it work tomorrow, if they can stick the landing, what it will do for this series. It's had it all. It's been such absorbing cricket from not even just day to day, but session to session. If we're 2-1 going to Manchester, that is going to be bigger than the Beatles.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, Oasis there from Manchester.
Wrong city, wrong Lancashire.
No, I think, it'd be great. I think the series... and if England lose, the Ashes are gone, but it's still been a special series. Every single session, I don't remember a session where I've been sat up there bored. You know, there's always been something happening. Both teams deserve a huge amount of credit, but it's going to be huge. You know, if England can get over the line, you can feel the support for a team that's 2-0 down, the support for a team that's 2-1 down, going to Manchester where it'll be raucous, it'll be loud, it'll be lively. It's exactly, and you know, even a lot of Australians that I speak to, I don't think they'll mind. If it's 2-1, it carries on the series and it goes to Old Trafford. I think even, not the players, but I think even yourself, I think the Aussies won't mind that, because we want to see an epic. And if it gets to 2-2, even better. Let's take it down to the Oval.
Absolutely. If it could be anything like the end of the series you played in 2005, we should be so lucky. Australia have 224 further runs to defend tomorrow. They need 10 wickets. You're going to have to follow every single ball on the Cricbuzz live blog and all the rest of it. Then him, Michael Vaughan, me, Adam Collins. We'll be here on Cricbuzz Chatter at the end. See ya.